Hello everybody, this is Khashayar, and I'm going to have some tutorials on game developing with Python and Pygame. I'm going to write a game called Pygame, which is kind of simple, classic or arcade game that there is a ball that's bouncing around and you have a paddle, have kind of horizontal control and movement. You have to hit the ball back to the wall or whatever roof, and hopefully during the game developing we can learn slowly about Pygame. Pygame is kind of large module, so it's not possible to cover everything about the Pygame is in just one game. So I will have more tutorials on different games hopefully. As you know, Pygame is built on top of the STL library, but now it's much better because have more abilities than STL, and the reason behind STL was make it possible for higher language to be involved in game developing. And if you don't have the Pygame, because Pygame is not coming with Python by default, so you have to download it. And downloading, if you are on a Linux system, you have to specify your Python version, because Linux are by default coming with Python 2, but I'm using Python 3 and I think it's better to use Python 3, so just forget about Python 2 please. Then if you don't have it, you can download it by this way. Open your terminal and Python 3 -m pipe install Pygame, and if you don't have it, you will get it. You will get it by downloading the from source code. And if you are in Windows, you just write Python -m pipe install if you have only one Python installed on your system. Okay, now let's create a file. We call it bball.py, and I will use Genie editor. It's kind of simple and I like it, and most of the time I use Genie, but you can use any editor or any IDE that you like. Okay, then first import the Pygame, and in Pygame we need to have some constants most of the time. We need to define our colors, and I used to define width and height of the screen and frame per second, and these are kind of in general structure of your code, because in Pygame the colors are coming in tuples and the three digit numbers separated by commas. So for example, white, like RGB, equal 255, 255 and 255. Black equal 000. Red equal 255, 00. Green equal 0, 255, 0, and blue equal 00255. Another thing is width and height of the screen of the game we are going to developing. which is width equal 600 and height will be 400. It's kind of landscape game, so the width is bigger than height, and FPS, which is frame per second for game, will be 60. Okay. Now we import the Pygame, but we need to initiate the Pygame. It's like you are starting the engine of the game. So pygame.init and pygame.mixer.init. Mixer is the sound system of the Pygame, and also you can use it separately with other programs. Then let me write a comment here, starting the Pygame core, something like that. And here we set up the screen. For set up the screen, we need to have a variable. You can write window or screen or just SP, doesn't really matter. So screen equal Pygame dot display dot set mode, and in set mode we need to pass the width and height in tuple or in list. It doesn't matter. Width and height. And another thing we need to define here, we need to have a variable called clock, so later on we can use it for adjusting the frame per second of the game. Clock equal Pygame dot time dot clock. Then I will write here, set up the screen and clock. Okay. Now let's see if we have screen. Okay, you see we got a screen, but it popped up and disappeared because we don't have a loop to keep it up and running. Then let's create our main game loop. Running equal true, and while running, in while loop, in main game loop in Python, we need to take care of a couple of things. One of the most important things that we have to have is event handling. I'll show you how to handle the events, but let's see if we don't have event handling, what's gonna happen. Alright, you see we have the window, but it's not fade away, but we can't close it either, because there is no event handling running in our main game loop, so we have to interrupt it by keyboard. Then now we need to write our event handling there. Event handling, it can be done easily by for loop in Pygame. So for event in Pygame dot event dot get, if event equal if event equal Pygame dot quit all capital, then running is false. So we break the while loop first, and after out of the while loop we say Pygame dot quit. Also we can have it here, Pygame dot quit, or here Pygame dot quit, but it really doesn't matter. It depends on how we will have our game game structure, but for now we can have it out of the while loop completely. And another good thing that we can do is we import a system module on top, and here we can have system.exit. Now when we run the game, we will have the screen up and running, and we easily can close it. Oh, maybe something is wrong here. Yes. What is going on here? For event in Python, pygame.event.get, if event.type should be here. I forgot. So for event in pygame.event.get, if event.type equal pygame.quit, pygame.quit with capital means this cross for closing the box. Now we can close the box. So there are other event types which I'm going to show you for keyboard, for mouse, even for joystick, for example. Okay, before we finish this part of the video, let's put our main game loop in main function. So define main. We just push everything in one tab, and if name equal main, then main. Okay. Now we have again the screen, and we can close it. So let me walk you through one more time. We import the modules, we define some basic colors which we are going to use later, we define our width and height of the screen and frame per second, we initiate the Pygame, make a core engine and sound system. After we set up our screen, and we define the main function, and inside the main function we have our main game loop. This is kind of general structure. You can structure it the way you want when you get a little bit more comfortable with the module. But other than event handling in main game loop, we have to take care of a couple of other things. One very important thing is the timing. So in timing, as you see here, we have a clock variable. Before our game loop starts, we can say clock dot tick frame per second, FPS. So this frame per second, what we have defined here, we have to pass it in clock dot tick method, and by this way everything will happen in the same speed in our while loop. And so in our game loop we need to take care of frame per second, we need to take care of events, and later on we need to have update for state of game updates, and we need to have draw, and at the end we need to reload the screen. Okay, and slowly we are going to write and develop each part of these sections here. Okay, so thanks for watching, and see you in next video.